10 British habits that drive foreigners crazy. Britain is admired worldwide for its castles, music, and humour, but it also has quirks that can leave visitors scratching their heads. Everyday customs that feel ordinary to Brits often seem odd, or even frustrating to outsiders. Some are amusing, some confusing, and some simply hard to understand. Here we dive into 10 British habits that drive foreigners crazy, showing how these peculiar traditions reveal the unique character of life in the UK. 10. Talking about the weather non-stop. The British weather changes quickly, sometimes 4 seasons in a single day, and so does the conversation around it. Rain, drizzle, or a sudden burst of sunshine are always worth mentioning. To foreigners, this obsession with the weather can feel trivial, but in Britain it serves as a polite icebreaker. In fact, a survey found that 94% of Brits had spoken about the weather in the last 6 hours, proving just how ingrained it is in daily life. For many, it isn't about meteorology, it's about safe, friendly conversation. In a culture that avoids prying questions, weather chat provides neutral ground for bonding. Foreigners may find it repetitive, but in truth, weather talk is a cornerstone of UK small talk, and with the UK averaging 133 rainy days a year, it's no wonder the skies provide endless material. 9. Using understatement in every situation. A storm that floods half a town? To Brits, it's a bit damp. A football match that ends in disaster? They'll call it not ideal. This understated way of speaking is so deeply ingrained that it often confuses outsiders. Foreigners expecting clarity are left puzzled when something serious is brushed off as a spot of bother. Linguists note that understatement is not just politeness, it's humour and resilience combined. It was famously captured during World War II with the slogan, "Keep calm and carry on." Even in everyday life, Brits downplay everything. A difficult exam becomes tricky. A car breaking down in the rain is a bit inconvenient. To foreigners who expect directness, this understatement feels maddening, but it's one of the most distinct British quirks. 8. Obsession with pubs. With around 46,000 pubs still operating across the UK, British Beer and Pub Association, 2023, these establishments are more than drinking spots. They're community centres, dining halls, and local landmarks rolled into one. Foreigners are often surprised to learn that pubs welcome families, serve Sunday roasts, and host events like quizzes or live music. In many rural villages, the pub is the most important building after the church. Some pubs are centuries old, with beams blackened by time and fireplaces that have warmed generations. Brits spend an estimated £22 billion annually in pubs, proof of how central they remain. For locals, their local is more than a bar, it's the heart of community life. Outsiders may find the pub's dominance unusual, but for Brits, it's inseparable from UK culture. 7. Awkward small talk. Small talk is an art form in Britain. While it may seem meaningless to outsiders, Brits rely on it to smooth social interactions. Silence in a lift, at the bus stop, or in the supermarket queue is often filled with light chatter. Surveys confirm that the weather is Britain's most common small talk topic, followed closely by traffic and current events. Many Brits say they engage in small talk daily, but interestingly, nearly half admit they sometimes avoid chatting with strangers to sidestep awkwardness. To outsiders, it may feel shallow, but to Brits, small talk is politeness in action. It keeps interactions pleasant, signals friendliness, and helps avoid uncomfortable silences. It's not about depth, it's about courtesy. 6. Calling everything lovely. In Britain, the word lovely is everywhere. Dinner is lovely, the neighbour's dog is lovely, even an ordinary drizzly walk is simply lovely. To outsiders, this repetition feels vague, even meaningless. But lovely works as a cultural softener. It keeps feedback positive, adds warmth to conversation, and avoids negativity. Linguists note it is one of the most overused adjectives in British English. Even advertising uses it. Supermarkets and cafes plaster menus with lovely offers because it resonates with the public. To foreigners, it may be baffling. But to Brits, calling things lovely is simply a way of making everyday life sound cheerful. 5. Having a stiff upper lip. The phrase stiff upper lip reflects Britain's cultural habit of keeping emotions under wraps. Historically tied to Victorian ideals and reinforced during the Blitz, it meant showing courage and calm even in crisis. This attitude lingers today. Studies show that Brits are less likely than Southern Europeans to openly display strong emotions in public, preferring restraint and composure. While Mediterranean cultures embrace passion, British culture prizes calm dignity. Why stay silent when frustrated? Why endure instead of complain? To Brits, composure equals strength, and avoiding fuss is part of what it means to be proper. It may drive outsiders mad, but it's one of those enduring British habits that define the culture. 4. Complicated politeness rules. Politeness in Britain is a finely tuned system. Saying please and thank you isn't optional, it's expected. But Brits often stack politeness into interactions like layers of clothing. Take a shop transaction. Thank you when handing money, thank you when receiving change, thank you once more when leaving. A YouGov poll found that Brits say thank you about 11 times a day on average, one of the highest rates worldwide. Compare that with global averages, and the UK comes out on top for gratitude in daily life. Foreigners sometimes find it excessive, but for Brits, it's second nature. Forgetting to say thank you, even once, can stand out like a sore thumb. 3. Love for roundabout ways of speaking. British speech is famously indirect. Instead of saying, "That's wrong," a Brit might say, "I'm not sure that's quite right." Instead of, "I dislike it," they'll say, "It's not my cup of tea." Foreigners used to bluntness often struggle with this subtlety. Is it politeness, sarcasm, or quiet criticism? The answer could be all three. This habit stems from a cultural preference for harmony. Avoiding blunt statements helps maintain relationships without confrontation. It's one of those things foreigners find strange in the UK, but for locals, it's a linguistic dance they've mastered over generations. 2. Watching TV with the subtitles on. Why would English speakers need subtitles for English shows? That's what foreigners often wonder when they see how many Brits now use them. Ofcom research, 2023, found that 4 in 5 young adults in the UK watch TV with subtitles on streaming platforms, even when they don't have hearing issues. Reasons include mumbling actors, fast dialogue, and strong regional accents. In fact, Britain has over 40 recognised regional dialects, from Geordie in Newcastle to Scouse in Liverpool, which can be tricky even for native English speakers. Subtitles make sure nothing gets lost in translation, even within the same language. 1. Their unique sense of humour. Few things confuse foreigners as much as British humour. Dry, sarcastic, and often self-deprecating, it's unlike most comedic traditions. The British Council notes that humour is one of the UK's most admired traits abroad, and surveys consistently show that most Brits see humour as an essential tool for coping with life's challenges. Whether it's poking fun at themselves, using irony, or making light of awkward situations, humour is a national survival strategy. Classic sitcoms like Fawlty Towers and The Office showcase this style: awkward silences, sarcasm, and understated chaos. To outsiders, it may look baffling at first, but once you get it, you're laughing right along with the Brits. From endless weather talk to confusing politeness rules, these are 10 British habits that drive foreigners crazy. At first, they may baffle outsiders, but over time, many learn to love them. These quirks are more than habits. They're cultural fingerprints, making Britain unforgettable and charming in its own uniquely British way. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell.